Good evening, folks. This is Samuel Ibrahim, your host of the Mind of the Prophet Meditation Hour. It's a beautiful Tuesday night, or easing into night. The moon is up, the sun is gone down. I am enjoying this. I'm enjoying this weather. It's a little frosty. Nevertheless, it feels good. It feels good to be outside. It feels good to be in my garage, which is like a temple to me. It's very orderly, and not because it's in order, even though it's very clean. The sheetrock has been removed, and so I get to see the wood beams in my garage, and it just looks like you can see all of the order that lies behind creation, and I just get a chance to see that with my walls. If the sheetrock was up, I could not see the order that was holding up the house. But since the sheetrock is removed, the wood beams are a reminder to me that there is always order going on in the background. So I've kept it like this for 2 years. Yeah, 2 years just about. And I love it. My creativity has exploded with this order being in my garage. That's not what I'm here to talk about today. I'm sitting here and this just came to me, so I'm being a conduit. If you're a Christian or even Jewish, or just even know something about the Bible and the prophet Elijah, who was a major prophet, accomplished many things, very forceful, fierce prophet, who also had a sense of humor. He went through depression. He was fierce enough and courageous enough to call down fire, and very anointed, as the infinite creator anointed him. There is a story, and it's probably in the first book of Kings. I believe that's when you really hear about Elijah's ministry. And he comes across a widow, and she has a son, and she only has very little oil, and she has a couple of pots. And Elijah prays, and I'm jumbling up this passage of scripture because I don't have my Bible out. I'm coming from memory, but people who understand this passage of scripture know what I'm talking about. And so basically, the woman had enough oil to where the oil just never ran out. Elijah spoke some words over the oil never ran out, and this woman was down to her last. She was down to, I guess what we will call bankruptcy in the United States of America. Maybe even below that. Okay, she might have been just, close to being homeless. So again, Elijah performed, and he said whatever he said over the pots, whatever he said over the oil, and the woman's oil just basically never ran out. She was just able to keep pouring oil, and she was able to sell the oil and lift herself out of the situation. Okay, and that is that's one of the principles in the Bible where you would see an Old Testament prophet basically break bread, and then the bread will multiply. It would just kind of be like a fish and 5 loaves kind of a situation. Very similar to the fish and 5 loaves of bread that Jesus had on the Sermon on the Mount. Okay. All men have the same ability to break bread, to break, to have their 2 fish and 5 loaves of bread and make that multiply to feed as many people as they need to. Every man has that capability. Every man does. And I'll tell you the one way that every man does. Every man has it more than one way. But I'll tell you the way that every man does that nobody has to tell them about. Your spoken word. Your spoken word is your way to basically multiply whatever it is that you have. Oh my goodness, right? So the power of life and death is in the tongue. Okay? To one who has, more shall be given. If you are faithful over a few things, the Creator, through the infinite Creator within you, will make you faithful over many things. Many things. If you become faithful over your speech, and you only release words on paper or through your mouth to bless another person, guess what? To one who has, more shall be given. You will be given more opportunities to write and to bless. That's how the principle works. And it just keeps coming in different ways. And your job, I don't want to say job because it makes it seem like a task, right? What you have to train your consciousness to see is the opportunity for you to break bread and bless another through your speech, right? That's what you all have. We all have that now. Now, here's the flip side of this spiritual principle. You can use your mouth to bless. In my very firm opinion and belief and application of life is to be silent before I release a manifestation of death into the air as much as I'm able to. Okay, I would rather not say a word than to release something that I am asking creation to create for me. So, the flip side of this principle is your mouth can also unleash a whole lot of death. Just as you can infinitely pour out a lot of oil to bless one that can never run out, you can also have a lot of oil that can also catch fire and burn down a whole bunch of stuff, right? The principle works both ways. All right, I hope that made sense. This is a short little tidbit, but I wanted to share it. I hope it makes sense to you guys. I'm going to listen when I get out of meditation. I might have another zinger that hits me, and I don't know if that'll be a new episode or if I'll just add it to this one. I hope what I said makes sense. The basic principle is any person, you don't need a prophet to come to your house and pray over something and with the hope that it multiplies. That's one thing I'm trying to say, right? You don't need a prophet to come to your house, pray over some things, and get those things to multiply. That's one thing I'm definitely trying to say. Okay, you don't need a preacher to do that. You don't need a holy man to do that. You don't need that. Because two, what you have is your tongue. You got that. That's yours. You control it. Like nobody can make you say something that you don't want to say. For the most part. Okay? That also requires discipline. That requires self-control. Nevertheless, if you use your tongue, you exercise discipline over your tongue to bless another person, just make it a habit, right? Just make it a habit to bless somebody with your speech, or with the work of your hands, or writing a blessing for somebody. And what will happen, what will absolutely happen is creation will see person X just blessed person Y. All right? Let us give person X another opportunity to bless another person. That is how that principle works. And in return, creation will bless you. It just works that way. Again, I hope that all made sense. I love you guys. You guys have a great night. This is Samuel Ibrahim, your host of the Mind of the Prophet.